Before this video starts, I would just like to clarify that the first half, or quarter, I guess you could say, of this video was recorded prior to a follow-up video being posted by the same content creator, that is Jeannie Lay, and due to me not wanting to lose hours of work, I decided to keep it in because I still want to use this video as a video you can point to clarify some of the misconceptions and errors someone might make in this situation. Now, I still do a lot of jokes in this video, but I just want to make clear the fact that this video, the point of this video, is to clear up said misconceptions and not necessarily insult anybody. So please don't take it that way. Don't harass, don't dox, don't dogpile, and so on. Thank you for your understanding, and enjoy the video. If you don't know it, don't say it. This is advice that a lot of people do not follow nowadays, and we have seen this multiple times in the last couple of weeks, where people do not know anything about a situation, but will still comment on it for one reason or another, and when someone that actually does know what it's about ends up looking really ridiculous. Case in point, these two videos. Now, I was originally not going to make a response to the original one, the first one, but after seeing the second one and reading the comments and all that, I thought that perhaps I should just clarify a few things by responding to these videos and hopefully inform some more people on the situation without going too memey or crazy or angry. This is gonna be an informative video, and I will try to not lose my patience. Okay. And before we start this, remember, don't harass, don't dox, don't dogpile. I shouldn't even need to say that, but just to be clear, don't do that. Anyway, let's start with the first video.
If I may, I do want to play a little bit of devil's advocate in this whole situation, because my experience with Acerthorn is completely different than anyone else's that I've seen online, and I just want to take a moment to talk about it.
Okay, that's fair. That's perfectly fair, actually. She's gonna play devil's advocate, and she is going to then link these two things. Link her experience, and then link other people's perception of Acerthorn, and she's gonna make a grander point about this. This isn't gonna be... This isn't gonna be incredibly archaic and misrepresentative, isn't it? Right? Okay, let's listen.
Again, I don't know anything about the legal situation. I just simply knew him as another YouTuber. I had never really even watched his videos or anything like that. So I did tell Acerthorn, I reached out to him, and I told him this guy Nerve was, making some really horrible comments about him on my video.
I saved you some pain there, but basically, she makes a video, Nerve Gorilla doesn't like it. After a year, the sentencing happens, they do a fucking stupid hashtag, and Nerve Gorilla then starts saying negative things. Usually I wouldn't include things like this, but this is part of her argument, and thus I am trying to give you the context without basically replaying the whole video, which is not cool. But now that we know the basic context, let's figure out how she fits this all with the situation with Acerthorn. This is going to be a slightly longer clip, so just keep that in mind. Let's listen to what she has to say. But she seems reasonable so far. She seems calm, she seems reasonable. She isn't totally going to make an argument that's about to make my head explode, is it? Also, for some reason, while watching this video, I could have sworn she said Acer Gorilla. Now, I don't know if I lost that in editing, but I just thought I'd keep that in there because that just shows how my mind went from, okay, let's try to reason with this guy, to what it is now.
And from there, Acerthorn posted this video. This video was actually him defending myself and him, and I think that was awesome. Like, when a complete stranger will make a short defending a random person online, I mean, how could I possibly have anything bad to say about this guy? Like, again, I don't know anything about the legal stuff. I thought his voice was hilarious. Like, he reminded me of, like, I don't know, like a radio show host or something. And I was just kind of drawn to his video. Like, it was just awesome. Like, I thought it was really cool. Like, again, didn't watch anything else, just these two shorts about Nerve Gorilla. So, from there, after he posted this video and mentioned me in it, I did get several people commenting on my videos and reaching out to me, telling me that, hey, be careful, Acerthorn's not a good person, he's gonna blah, 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 he's gonna probably do this, do that. Like, I don't like to judge people just by what other people say. I like to have my own opinions, my own thought process. So I started looking things up. I mean, obviously, a simple search of his name, there's tons of videos about this guy, Acer Thorn, like tons of them. So I didn't see anything but negativity about Acer Thorn. So I feel like it's important for everyone to have someone's back.
Oh, Jesus fucking Christ, here we go with this moral nonsense. No, Jenny, you do not always have to have someone covering someone else's back, because if what that person is doing is outright abusive, manipulative, or illegal, then by no means should you be defending that person who is clearly in the wrong. And you yourself should know this. After all, you have claimed that someone sent their followers to stalk you. I don't know anything about that situation, so I'm not going to give my opinion on that, but based on your statement, you yourself should know that sending other people to stalk others, for example, is a bad thing. Does the person sending their followers to stalk you need someone else to cover their back? Does she? Do enlighten me on that. Second, how could you possibly have anything bad to say about the guy that made a video sort of defending you? Well, it's easy. Believe it or not, the world is not binary. You can still say someone did the right thing here, someone did a positive thing, and still then comment about something negative that they also did. This is basic. Third, you got people warning you that this guy is a bad person. Yeah, you sounded like you dismissed them. Believe it or not, you can make your own opinions by using someone else's opinion on the situation. For example, if someone says a lot of negative things and you only find positive things, you may ask yourself, where is this negativity coming from? What is the source of it? And as someone who claims that they like to make their own opinions, I'm absolutely sure that you did your own research and have made a complex opinion based on your hours of research, and it's gonna hit the nail on the head. You know, it's just gonna hit the nail on the head. She has done her research and is forming her own opinions and
Someone's back. Like, he didn't do anything bad to me. He's only done nothing but kindness to me. Like, not only did he defend me, he's given me free legal advice multiple times. Multiple free legal sessions. Like, taking hours out of his day to help me with legal situations. So, but I will say that one common thing that I am noticing that people are saying about him and mentioning about him is that he has been diagnosed with Asperger's syndrome. And first of all, I don't care how you feel about someone, if you're angry with them, whatever. It's not cool to talk about their mental health situations.
if there is a God in the heavens, then I believe he or she has abandoned this poor soul. Let's start off with the obvious. Legal advice from Acer Thorn, as you call yourself an aspiring journalist. Wait, she's an aspiring journalist? She's an aspiring journalist? And she didn't even bother to look up Acer Thorn's legal history? And she calls herself an aspiring journalist. Well, she's perfectly fit for the role. But seriously now, legal advice from Acer Thorn. This should be blatantly obvious to anyone who has even searched up his YouTube name on Google. It should be blatantly obvious that legal advice from Acer Thorn means about as much as the US dollar under Joe Biden. Let's summarize a few points as to why nobody should take Acer Thorn's legal advice seriously. Let's start with trying to sue Texas for $5 trillion US, higher GDP than the economy of Japan, by the way. His reasoning was that if he sent the Governor General of Texas $1 in the mail with a paid stamp and if he did not return it within 1 business day, then he could sue for $5 trillion. But that's a little bit old. Let's get with something more recent. How about him trying to sue me, a Portuguese citizen, for $1.8 million and then trying to demand that the court order YouTube and Alphabet to police my content and, no matter what it is about, delete all of my accounts, and then ask the court to stop me, a Portuguese citizen, from filing bankruptcy, as if the court has any jurisdiction over the Portuguese Republic. Or how about how he thinks that he deserves $150,000 for every single use of his material, regardless of its fair use or not, including pictures. That's right, he wants $150,000 for pictures. Still not enough. How about the fact that he thinks that simply being in a Discord thread where people simply post updates on his behavior and ask for advice on how to deal with the situation and occasionally pass off some joke means that everyone in that thread is by default malicious and by default forfeits their right to claim fair use on any content that they make regarding Acer Thorn. I mean, shit, how about extortion attempts? I could go on for another hour talking about his legal shenanigans, but if this isn't enough, enough, then I don't think anything else will be. So the fact that this aspiring journalist did not even catch on to a single of his previous legal shenanigans in the past, doesn't know anything about the current legal situation, yet praises the fact that he has given him legal advice, it's very telling. It really is very telling. Very telling of what, in fact? The fact that she fits perfectly for the role of a modern-day journalist. And then she claims that a common pattern in all the videos that she has seen about Acer Thorn is the fact that people mention that he has Asperger's. Now, I don't know what fucking videos she has been watching, I really don't, but most videos, that I know of at least, don't even mention the fact that he has Asperger's, and the ones that do are to make the point that having Asperger's does not excuse ruining other people's lives, hobbies, livelihoods, financial situation for multiple generations worth of time, threats or system abuse. Because believe it or not, if this situation had been he made some stupid claims about some video games, which is, by the way, how all of this started, and people, instead of addressing his points, went on to make fun of the fact that he has Asperger's, then I would actually side with Acer Thorn, because I perfectly understand the impacts that mental health issues can have on someone. However, that is not the situation, and that is something that should have been blatantly obvious to anyone who did something as simple as watching a single video on him by one of the people that he has affected, or, you know, by googling his YouTube name, because that leads to a lot of lawsuits from him, so you can see the sheer stupidity on display whenever he tries to claim that he knows anything about the law. But now that we're done with this video, I was going to say that I wasn't going to make a response to this, but then, and she even in the comments said that she didn't want to upset anyone or that sort of thing, and I thought, alright, someone that just wanted to say something and wasn't expecting much, if any, pushback, i.e. a modern-day journalist. But then she pinned another video in the comments when I went to check the video. And oh boy. Oh my, oh dear sweet Jesus, this one just gets even worse. Why don't we check it out? Double feature day, everyone!
Hey guys, we're back.
Oh fucking hell, not only is it Fortnite footage, but it's footage recorded on a phone, and you might be wondering, why do you care when this is a commentary video? Well, that's because this guy actually does stream. So I'm wondering why he simply didn't just record himself playing or something like that and talk over it instead of recording it with his phone. And why Fortnite, for crying out loud? Okay, I'm not gonna get... No, I'm not sticking to this. Anyway.
When you're on the internet and you're a content creator and streamer, subconsciously there's an understanding that you could be subject to all forms of criticism. Now, I mean, that's what happens all the time on the internet. I mean, haters, trolls, or just simple critics.
Now, I have to say that this is actually very true. When you're on the internet and you're making videos or you're making posts, statements, or whatnot, there is going to be at least one person that is going to call you out, that is going to disagree, that is going to troll you, and so on and so forth. And I would also like to add that on the internet, people use words without meaning their literal definition. For example, if I call someone retarded, I am probably not referring to the possibility, or the fact or not, that they have a mental condition or not. I may just be calling their argument or their thought process stupid. And of course, we all agree that this trolling and so on and these insults can get a bit too far, but that too far is different for just about everybody. And you may be asking, why am I even bothering to show this portion of the video if I agree with it? Why am I even bothering to comment on it? Well, if you have half a brain cell, you can probably see where this is going, can't you?
However, my question to everyone is, at what point or when does this cross the line into harassment, even life-threatening behavior from simple trolling?
Oh, I can answer that one really easily. Pew Research defines online harassment as offensive name-calling, purposeful embarrassing, stalking, physical threats, harassment over a sustained period of time, and sexual harassment. Pew Research, by the way, being considered one of the top dogs in unbiased reporting and research. A further look into the definition of harassment gives us aggressive pressure or intimidation. For very obvious reasons, we cannot simply say that a single one of these things, isolated or not, can be defined by default as harassment. So for the sake of it, we will take the 6 factors, and for the purpose of the argument, define harassment as 2 or more of these occurring repeatedly.
I was fortunate enough to get a response back from Acer Thorn about the controversy that he's involved in. And in this conversation, we talked about numerous things that were written, and as a human being, I believe no streamer or content creator should go through. I mean, how would you feel if someone stated that they would make your life a descent to hell?
Agreed. How would you feel like if someone tried to make your life descend into hell by ruining you legally, financially, and socially, then tried to ruin your hobby while they're at it, only to then turn around and try to extort you and make you feel bad for simply being in a Discord? How would you then feel if this said person then turned around and tried to say that actually you're the one doing all of these things without being able to point to a single goddamn instance of you actually doing the thing, and get some certified Twisted Towers looking ass gangsta to defend him because he knows that this said person won't even bother to look up the situation and look for further context? This mentality of believe the victim, even without confirming that they're even a victim in the first place, is fucking ridiculous, and I'm honestly goddamn sick of it.
I mean, if you don't know what doxing is, it's basically exposing someone's address, phone name, or their phone number on a website or existing platform.
Does leaking someone's address unnecessarily in a legal document where it is absolutely not even supposed to be count as doxing? Also, you forgot to mention there that it needs to not be in the public domain. You wanna guess what public domain is? Well, there's a lot of things that include public domain. One of them is legal documents. It's also not doxing when you advertise your guru page with your real name in it in your videos and then hurriedly delete that when people start calling out the hypocrisy of saying that someone's doxing them for finding their guru page when they advertise that. Are you starting to see how Acerthorn misrepresents the situation? How could someone possibly have found my real name? He asks as he advertises his real name.
There is a limit to where the internet crosses into reality. Even if someone's info is already existing online and can easily be found, it still doesn't give anyone the right to repost or share where a person's information can be found.
Wrong. Well, not necessarily wrong, but also not necessarily right. It depends on why that information is being shared. Is it being shared maliciously? Or is it being shared for reasons such as a critique or for context behind the point in an argument? For example, if I have to make the argument that Acerthorn only cares about the money, is it then wrong of me to get bits of him in the past only caring about money and demanding ridiculous sums of money from people or getting them into impossible situations and then offering to stop it for money?
I mean, reach out to Acerthorn if you ask him and ask him what he's going through. I won't go into too much detail in regards to some of the things I've seen because it's out of respect to Acer.
Is it out of respect to Acer, or is it because you know that your argument would fall into pieces because then people would find out that this entire thing started because people did actually try to reach out to Acer and he just started insulting them and saying that their parents beat them as kids? And also because Acer didn't actually try to reach out and just started striking videos that were just responses to his own videos. As the comments have perfectly pointed out, this is misrepresentation and being disingenuous to a T.
Respect to Acer. If you're upset about DMCA cases and you feel a case or a channel is being incorrectly shut down, or take it up with YouTube investigation process. Acer legally can report any info, but he doesn't have the ability to manually close or shut down those channels.
You fucking what? Okay, no, I did not hear this. Okay, let's start with the obvious. For starters, it's not CMA, it's DMCA. Secondly, some people did actually try to contact YouTube on Twitter, and they only got bot responses. Absolutely useless because it's YouTube, you should know this. Third, do you actually know what a DMCA takedown even is, motherfucker? YouTube is a middleman during a DMCA takedown because it is a legal process. If you're a small channel, YouTube won't even check it. They'll just run it through a bot that is absolutely useless if they even run it through a bot at all. And if you send a counter notification, YouTube can't do much, if anything at all, about it unless the claimant does not take legal action. You do realize that filing a DMCA fucking counter notification is basically giving away your information and opening yourself up to a case you might not have the money to fucking deal with, right? Fourth, even if someone is absolutely in the right, but they are afraid to give out their information to this trigger-happy maniac, or doesn't have the money to fight said maniac, who sues just about anyone for anything, shit, if he tripped, he'd sue the floor, then they simply can't fight it, meaning that Acerthorn can actually get their channels deleted. X-Artemis Wolf. Let's take X-Artemis Wolf, for example. Her channel was deleted for 3 strikes from Acerthorn, one of which was justified, admittedly, although Acer had agreed not to take it down if she put it in private, and then he did anyway. The second was not, and the third was only her talking over gameplay footage about the situation. That's right, her channel was deleted because one of her videos, which was just her playing with just gameplay footage and talking about the situation, she got her channel deleted because of that. What? He doesn't have the power to delete channels. My fucking ass. Jesus goddamn Christ. And that was over 90 days ago. Her channel is gone. Why? Because YouTube couldn't do anything about it. And she is afraid, rightfully so, to give her information and doesn't have the money to even consider dealing with it. This is the level of stupidity that you end up saying when you actually think that it's all nice and fun and dandy, or when you don't fucking research what you're even talking about. You'd think that this motherfucker would have at least looked up what a DMCA takedown is? But no. He's trying to be the kind guy. He's trying to be the reasonable voice here. And he just said one of the stupidest things I think anyone who has been on YouTube for more than 3.5 seconds has ever said. Now do you see why I couldn't simply ignore these videos? Now do you see why I simply couldn't stop myself from making a response to this? It's because these people who just want to comment on it so badly for the views and the clicks and the interaction end up saying not only really stupid things and defending something that is very undefensible, but they also end up saying some of the dumbest things you can hear from someone who has been on YouTube. This guy who is trying to make a big song and dance about harassment being bad and all that, and you shouldn't harass or dox, is defending a harasser, someone who you could actually argue that is a doxer, and who actually paid people to dox someone else, and has harassed multiple people, and has made their lives, mine included, into a living hell. But does he care? No, he doesn't. He doesn't care. And you want to know what the worst part of it all is? You want to know what the worst part of it all is, other than me having to cover this for the sake of informing people and clearing these things up? You want to know the worst part? Is that this video isn't even fucking over.
It's everybody's right to file the claim, but YouTube makes the final decision, and it's not an excuse to blame someone for initiating a claim if they feel as though they're being victimized in any way.
Oh my, okay, oh god, I'm out of energy. For starters, no, it's not anybody's right to file a claim. By that logic, I could file a claim on your video. Second of all, if they're feeling like they're being victimized in any way, I'm sorry, you just don't get to even consider that if someone else is uploading a critique of your content in one way or another, whether in the form of parody or more serious commentary/debate format. It is simply not how that works. DMCA is for copyright. And although Acer Thorn has tried to claim that his room and his face are copyright, just ask Kratosis about that, I'm pretty sure that he hasn't yet tried to register his feelings with the Copyright Office. And there's still a minute of this guy's video left. Why do I suffer for you guys?
Then again, it's easy to write someone's experience off as mental issues when you don't know or understand everything they're going through. But how do you expect someone to react to these levels of harassment?
And boom, here we go. Here's the disingenuous and misrepresentative nature of the video that most people in the comments were pointing out. You have failed to define harassment properly and attribute it to who is actually doing it. Who? What? Which of his critics is actually doing it? Is it everybody? Is it just this guy or this guy? Is it... Who is? Because the way this is phrased, it implies that everybody who is going after, quote-unquote, going after Acer Thorn right now is the harasser and the doxer and whatnot. Secondly, do you realize what you just said? The guy who is abusing the copyright system, who is threatening people, who is trying to extort people, and who is trying to legally, financially, socially ruin people by force, you gotta consider how he's feeling, how he's reacting to it. You know, I would have actually cared. I would have actually cared what he was actually feeling if people were going after him unjustly just because he said some things that other people didn't agree with about video games. But do you actually expect anyone to give a shit about how he feels when he is abusing, threatening, and ruining dozens of people? This is literally the abuser mindset. This is literally the excuse that people who suffered from abuse give to their abuser.
I mean, anyone can pick and choose what they feel or is or isn't worth a DMCA strike, but it's up to YouTube, regardless of how you believe it's a flawed algorithm. It may be reacting to these DCMA strikes or may not. I personally don't have time to fixate on one person. I say what I feel and I keep it moving.
Yes, you say what you feel, and what you feel is fucking stupid. Also, just the last thing, I'm not gonna bother anymore. It's not up to YouTube whether it's fair use or not, unless your channel's actually big enough and YouTube actually verifies. Which is incidentally the reason that Kratos' videos and Sid Alpha's videos have not been taken down, because YouTube actually scanned it and called out as bullshit. But you need to understand that smaller content creators, yourself included, do not actually enjoy this luxury. And if a strike goes through, even if it's a frivolous one, it's up to the court, not to YouTube. YouTube only stops the ones that are obvious bullshit, like Acer Thorn's DMCA strike attempt against Kratos' 10-hour stream because of a picture that was on screen for a minute. Said picture, which actually received and was a subject of the commentary and criticism that they were giving of Acer Thorn. You know what, believe it or not, that rant I gave earlier was actually one take and unscripted, and I'm just out of fucking energy. I am actually out of energy, so instead of covering Jeannie's third video, I am simply going to sum it up. Jeannie's third video was her talking about two different people, one of which I'm not going to bother with, the second which was her realizing that, apologizing for upsetting people in case of the Acer Thorn situation. The only real thing I have to say about that video is that no, the problem isn't that people are offended, and the problem isn't that people are upset. It's the problem is that people were simply pointing out the fact that you got the reason why people were calling him out wrong. And it would be unfair to feature Jeannie's fucking video after this absolute travesty. So yeah, Jeannie, you should actually read the comments, fully before making up your mind. But hey, what's done is done. Let's just finish this crap off. Don't go after anybody in this video. Don't harass, don't dogpile, don't dox, don't do anything like that. These videos exist to criticize their points and to point out where they are wrong and to clarify these things that some people may get wrong. Such as people believing that this entire issue is about Acer Thorn's fucking mental health issues, the fact that he has Asperger's, or the people that think that, oh, no big deal, if you're angry about the DMCA, just talk to YouTube because they talk. Oh, my god. And misrepresenting the situation. So yeah, thank you guys for watching, thank you guys for rating, I hope you enjoyed my suffering, even though I cut it short, because my chest actually hurts now, and I will see you all in the next one. Please fucking kill me. Also, face reveal at 300 subs. Partial face. And what's funny is that under Acer Thorn's definition, after I do that face reveal, under Acer Thorn's definition, if anybody shared that, it would be doxing, because that's... Oh my god, how did I get here?